being a Canadian news source, what is it like to see the administration from the United States bash the media?
It's interesting. I mean, Canada has definitely a different perspective on the news. We have a government. It's interesting because we had a government before, the Harper government, which was much more stingy with how it dealt with the news and news source and newscasts and people. Our new Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, well, he's been Prime Minister for a couple of years, sort of started his mandate as Prime Minister saying that he would be much more open to the news. Whereas I would think in the States it's a lot more aggressive. The language and the level of aggression towards the media has been much stronger than what it is in Canada. Canada, we're unerringly polite, but there is still, at the end of the day, politicians don't want to be held to account. And so there will always be that tension, but I have to say that we're not experiencing anything to the level officially that you guys are.
How do we hold politicians accountable?
You ask the right questions, right? And you need governments and politicians to remember that none of us are in this for us, right? We are all accountable to the voters and to the people. We're accountable to our viewers. They're accountable to the voters. And this is only going to work. Democracy is only going to work if we all work together. That being said, I think what we're experiencing right now is it's a frightening time. At the same time, it's a time that I think might turn into one of our golden eras, right? I think we all got complacent. We all got complacent with how we treated our politicians. We got complacent with how much news, what we were doing, where we were going. And I would say, honestly, at every level, we got complacent. And now we've all realized this is really important, right? We are foundational pillars for Western democracy. It doesn't happen unless we have the right information and people can make up their own minds. And they need to know what the facts are. And we need to stop, as a media, we need to remember that we are beholden to our viewers to give them the information that they need. And sometimes we got lazy and gave them just the information that they wanted. And that's the challenge that I think, regardless of what side of the border you're at, that you need to meet every day.
Now, you mentioned that this could potentially be a golden era. What would you tell an aspiring journalist who is being told you're joining the evil side? What would you tell them?
Oh, gosh, no. Everything's evil. No matter what you do, if you do it with good faith and you do it honestly, it's not going to be evil. How can it be evil? And it's also, again, facts are facts. Opinions, how you ingest those facts, how you think about those facts, how you feed those facts out to your viewers, that you can have a spin. But at the end of the day, we all have to agree that there's a baseline of fact. And I think what's happening on this side of the border right now is what is disheartening for all of us journalists, no matter where we are, because we can't. I was at we were at the Natural History Museum yesterday, and there was a quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is, the nice thing about science is it's the truth, right? And that's kind of the important thing.
Wonderful. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
No. The other reason I think it's a golden age is right now it's kind of scary financially. There's a lot of realities that I think our businesses, and I don't know if it's necessarily the same in the States, but in Canada there's a lot of pressure financially on all media organizations. But just as if in hardship we're finding opportunities to be better journalists, to be more diligent, to ask the tough questions, again, if we stop resting on the laurels of the last 30 years and start working on, okay, digital media if it is the future, how do we make sure it's a future people can trust? How do we make sure that digital media is fact-based, is well-driven, is easy to access, and overwhelms all, the bots out there, right? And if we can find that, this is a whole other world, right? Like, we might be at the dawn of something fantastic. But like all great change, the next 5 to 10 years, I think will be transformational. That can be really scary, but if we get it right, that can be fantastic.